Oh wow, you guys are here? That's crazy. Anyway, today I want to talk about Mr. Beast because I had a realization which is not really about Mr. Beast. I don't give a fuck about him. It's just a general observation that, you know, who's gonna feed the poor? My glasses are fucking me. Who's gonna feed the poor if the king is cancelled? You know, because recently apparently there's been a controversy with this guy, Mr. Beast, and I don't know if he's gonna be cancelled or not. That's not really the point. The point is simply that, you know, today we have been forced into a very strange situation where, shut the fuck up, where, because of a lack of social safety nets, now we have fucking kind of billionaires like Mr. Beast, who I guess is some kind of billionaire or, multi-millionaire. We're gonna have to rely on those people to feed the poor, kind of a new king or a new feudal lord who with his benevolent mind will feed the poor because the system won't take care of him. And yeah, that's just that's weird because those of you who are kind of philosophically inclined, trained, you know about the movement called effective altruism, which is basically the idea that rich people should use their wealth to do good things in the world. And that's kind of ridiculed by other people, that you actually need systemic solutions to problems. You can't just solve the problem. Can't just solve the problem via individual acts of kindness. And that's very strange because that has reemerged in ways that the effective altruist could have never imagined, namely in the form of Mr. Beast himself, who has made a fortune out of selling his fortune or giving his fortune away. And so that was unimaginable. But today we're living in an age where a fucking kid, basically a fucking YouTuber, is doing this and is amassing extreme amounts of wealth by just simply being an altruist. So he didn't gain the money via being a capitalist. He just gained the money simply via altruism. So it's this kind of reflective, reflexive process where he washes his own back or whatever. And so the weird thing now is that if this guy gets cancelled, that's gonna have severe consequences in the world. Again, it's not really about Mr. Beast. I'm not gonna investigate the facts about how many people he actually saved or whatever, or helped, because that's really beside the point. I just accept that he did. Like, he saved disabled people, blind, deaf people, planted trees, gave away obscene amounts of money to individuals, gave them cars, and paid their rent and all that kind of crap. An obscene amount of goodness that he has brought into the world, which without him would have been impossible. And so you can be honest and just admit that he's done all this, and give him a round of applause for that. You don't have to be cynical about it. And so, but the interesting point here is simply that if this guy actually gets cancelled, then that will have serious ramifications, in the sense that millions and millions of people in the future he could have possibly helped, with even more money and even more influence. This thing is basically almost infinitely scalable. He could have billions of subscribers and billions of dollars, maybe even trillions somehow. You don't know. I mean, that's probably an exaggeration, but he could actually have like 50x of what he has now, or 100x. And so that would imply that he could save and help that many more people, an obscene amount of people. And if we actually can, if they actually cancel him, they, I mean, people, you know, just the empty abstraction of people, which doesn't really exist. But you know, that's why that's a different topic. But you know, who is they? It's nobody really. But you know, if he actually gets cancelled by this non-existent entity called the people, that will have serious real ramifications. And that's the, by the way, that's the paradox, that an illusion called the people can create real consequences, right? Or that the law can create, you can imprison somebody falsely. So even though the law is just an illusion, an abstraction that doesn't really mean anything, the consequences can be real. And so, you know, the point is that that's aside. That's beside the point. The point is that, you know, if this guy actually gets cancelled, if he will, I don't know if he will, because I don't know, he might have said something or done something the wrong way that the people don't approve of. That could possibly deprive millions and millions of people of aid, charity that he would provide. And so that's a really strange situation. I think that's worth pondering, is that, you know, how the fuck did we get ourselves into a situation where the well-being and fate of possibly millions of people rests on whether somebody, you know, gets cancelled or not by the mob. How did we put all this power, first of all, in the hands of some 20, I don't know, 5-year-old, 8-year-old, I don't know, kind of a goofy guy? Isn't it that disgusting that he wields all this power and money, and he has fetishized all this? And by the way, I never did. He always gave me a nasty impression. I never liked. I'm not saying I dislike him as a person, but I always find the stuff that he does obscene, even years prior, before it was cool. So I'm not just pulling this out of my ass for some kind of a clout or something. I'm just making a point. I even criticized when he made the Squid Game video, which is, I think, his most popular video to date. I even criticized it in one of my videos. I said, isn't it obscene that, you know, to take this TV show that was all about exposing, you know, the hypocrisies of the system, the reliance on money and turning people into assets, and he just kind of reproduces that in a game. There's something nasty and disgusting about it. While at the same time, you have to approve of the good things that he does. So you're kind of fucked in that way, that you don't really know what to say. You're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. But anyway, back to the main point. You know, what are the consequences of, how did we get to this point, and what are the consequences of it, of, you know, actually coupling cancel culture with this guy who wields all this power, too much power in one hand, so that the very future, in a way, rests on whether we cancel this guy or not. Just think about it. It's kind of weird. It's very, very strange. Because, I mean, what if there will be a future in this culture where something nasty will happen, and, you know, it will be I don't know, a racist society or a fascist society or something weird, something fucked up, doesn't matter. And Mr. Beast will have to make the decision, do I go along with this or do I get cancelled? You know, if I get cancelled, I can't help all these people. On the other hand, I will have to go along with this nasty development in society in order not to get cancelled. So, you know, it's, I think it just shows you something about the fundamental amorality of society, that society can, like a pin that can move in any which way, can point to any way it wants to, and there is no underlying thread, there's no underlying, kind of a joke. It kind of exposes society and our civilization, our systems, as a joke, that you can have some 20-year-old dude almost become one of the most powerful people in the world, or at least in the US, He just wields an insane amount of power, and more kind of exposes the whole kind of emptiness of everything, that it's just kind of a game. It's not really real. There's no serious structure behind it. It can all be swept away. And so, that can make us reflect on that. And I don't really have any deeper point about that. It just simply made me think about, I guess, personal responsibility that it really is pressing on us, attendant on us, to fix the world and to do good things in the world. Because if we don't, nobody else will. The other people don't exist. I mean, each individual exists unto himself, but nothing else exists. It's just all each to their own, unto himself, and there's nothing else. So the question is, would you cancel Mr. Beast? Yeah. So that was my kind of realization, and I don't want to draw it out because that's all the point I wanted to make for now.